Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
All of our guests today sponsored by Passan Motors. Don't love your vehicle? Let Passan Motors help you get into one you do. Did you write this again, Ryan?
Exactly.
Learn more at Basant Motors, BASANT Motors.com. Unsigned Delaney's OK Tire and Langley inbox just ahead of Thomas Drance from The Athletic. And please sign your text. This, whoever it is, man or woman, I'm looking at the text history.
Yep.
It's excellent. We want to give you credit.
Really?
Here we go again. Once the team, the Canucks, totally out of the playoffs, they start to look really good. For the love of God, I hope management sells while they are high. I could see Aquilini thinking, hey, look how close we are, and we should buy again in free agency. Sell, sell, sell. Let's get anything we can and rebuild. See, that's it's well constructed, well thought out.
Relative of yours?
Yeah, juicy. No, it's not a relative of mine. Like I said, I have no idea who it is. But give yourselves credit. Sign those texts and emails, folks. Thomas Drance joining us now from The Athletic in the wake. Are you okay?
Yeah, bring him on. Bring him on.
Did you see Elias Pettersson, the way he scooted around that Robert Thomas there?
Yeah.
Okay, Thomas Drance joining us now from The Athletic in the wake of the Canucks' overtime win over St. Louis. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Fun game.
It was a fun game.
Yeah.
How close are we, and we talked about this in the first segment, how close are we to calling Elias Pettersson a superstar, putting him in that category?
I mean, I think he's there. I think he's been not only do I think he's there, I think he's been there for a while. I mean, we're talking about a guy who was very nearly point per game over the course of his entry-level deal. Name a guy you consider a superstar. Austin Matthews, on and on. Like, those guys didn't do that. Like Connor McDavid did, but that's about it over the last 6-7 years. Mitch Marner, Matt Barzal didn't. Like, this guy's incredible. He's incredible, and aside from, a really baffling 30-game stretch at the start of last season, he's been consistently incredible throughout his Canucks tenure. It's been extremely fun to watch. I think he's going to make a meaningful assault on the franchise's single-season scoring record over the balance of the season. And what a shame. What a shame that that's not accompanied by any measure of team success, which would allow it to be more widely recognized, right? Truly, he's having one of the 5 most valuable seasons anyone in the league is having this year. But, like with Erik Karlsson in San Jose, right? It only means so much on a team that's going to accomplish what the Canucks are, which is, flat diddly.
What have you noticed about, and, for a second straight game, he forces overtime late for the Canucks. What have you noticed about Andrei Kuzmenko since his benching by Rick Tocchet versus Detroit?
Yeah, he's the most effective anti-tank artillery the world has seen since the Maginot Line. Congratulations to him. Kuzmenko scores goals. He scores goals in dirty areas, and he's converting on something like 25% of his shots. It's amazing how efficient he is. And usually I'd look at a 25% shooting clip and be like, way overheated. Now, I do think Kuzmenko's shooting clip is overheated. I don't think his next, 50 games of his career, he's going to score on 1 of every 4 shots he takes. But it's a little bit different when you are taking the vast majority of your shots as close to the net in the dirty areas the way that he is, right? He is remarkable at getting open, at finding loose pucks, at avoiding getting taken out of place in, some of the heaviest areas of the rink. Pretty amazing. It's fun to watch him operate in the net front space. So, I do think you're going to see a guy who's going to sustain anyway, a far higher than average shooting clip. It almost reminds me one of the guys who always converted a really high clip of their shots was East Van legend Milan Lucic, right? And obviously there's no comparison stylistically between the two, but I think there kind of is in terms of the location of their shots, right? And I think Kuzmenko's the sort of guy who's going to be very efficient, particularly so long as he's winning battles and finding loose pucks down low.
Hey, Thomas, the Penguins are going to put Kasperi Kapanen on waivers today. Obviously, he's got a history with Jim Rutherford. But here's the problem: if you pick up a guy on waivers, he's at 3.2 and he's got 1 year left on his term. I mean, is it even possible? Do you think in Vancouver?
Is it possible for the Canucks to add another expensive middle six winger? Well, Rick, I wouldn't count it out.
Okay, but a team hold it.
Template player. This is the template player for this organization. Middle six forward signed to an unattractive contract. Oh my goodness, gotta get it. Gotta get him.
Listen to me. Put your sarcasm away. Listen to me. Do you think they could do it? I mean, they got cap hell issues.
No.
I mean, no.
Well, yeah. I mean, they can. They have the cap space to do it. In that you could fit him into the Pearson LTI or the Pearson Mikheyev LTI space and reassign, Atu Ratu to make space on the 23-man roster. So yes, I mean, you could do it, and I suppose it's a free asset, but it's not the free asset they need, right? Like, this is not the way that they should be using $3-ish million of their remaining cap space. They definitely shouldn't be committing term. At this point, you wonder if the Penguins would pay a team to take him on. Right. And that might be like, if you really think that you can rebuild Kasperi Kapanen's value, that he brings this level of speed that you need, that you love the player. I mean, that's fine if the Penguins want to take money back, right? And or pay you to take on that deal, sure. But you don't claim him off waivers. You don't.
Have we lost Thomas? Looks like it.
Yeah.
I'm with Thomas, by the way. We'll try to reconnect with Thomas in a second here. I'm with them when it comes to Kasperi Kapanen. And if you're just tuning in, folks, Penguins holding him out of practice today.
Yeah.
And anytime, anything happens with the Penguins, you just assume, especially with the Luke Schenn situation, that maybe Jim Rutherford and Patrick Alvin are involved. The Canucks are involved. But what Thomas said is bang on. Okay, wingers, well into their NHL careers, timeout. The Canuck fans have had enough of that. And here's nothing against anybody.
Here's another one for you, Donnie. You don't put players on waivers, Don, if they're doing really well. He's got 7 goals in 43 games. His last big year was in 2018, 20 goals with the Leafs, and since then he's really struggled.
How are we doing? We got Thomas back?
Thomas back?
Thomas, you there? We got you?
Yeah, I think Rick's freezing cold takes caused my computer to.
No, it was. You know what it was? Jittery. It was your sarcasm heating up the phone lines. Now listen, Luke Schenn. So Monday they say, you know what, go home. He goes home. It's been 6 days, Thomas, and also with those six days comes inactivity, not on the ice. What are you hearing on Luke Schenn?
Not a lot. I mean, the defensive market has shaken out in a very slow manner. And I do sort of wonder if the Boston Bruins I don't know if you read my colleague Aaron Portzline today, but it seems that the Bruins may have dragged the Columbus Blue Jackets along a little bit in pursuit of Gavrikov, and then, decided to go in a different direction and get Dmitry Orlov and Garnett Hathaway, which, by the way, is a better move for the Bruins. Like, that's a way better fit for them. Garnett Hathaway is an incredible piece for them. And Dmitry Orlov's exactly what they need in terms of matching the style of game they play. So, I liked it for the Bruins, but I do sort of wonder if it's going to take the market, at least in terms of like defensemen, a little bit now to sort of readjust to this reality, right? Gavrikov's not going where we thought he was going. Chikrin's still out there. Is Nick Jensen another Ben Hankinson client? Does Nick Jensen from Washington shake loose because he's an expiring RD? That would be a very interesting wrinkle. Might diminish, to some extent anyway, some of the cachet that Schenn would have as a trade piece from a Canucks perspective. I think it'll take the market a little bit to just sort of figure out who's going where, who needs what, and where buyers are going to go spend their assets now that the Boston Bruins, who are sort of in control of this marketplace, as they should be, right? That's the clearest example of a win now team I've maybe ever seen. That now that they've sort of chosen their direction, it's going to take, I think, a little bit for teams to adjust and figure out exactly how they want to proceed improving their teams.
And that'll be fun with Boston coming into Vancouver on Saturday. It certainly was fun last night in Seattle. Just 8 regulation losses for the Bruins. Hey, before we let you go, Thomas, quickly, if you can, your opinion of Aatu Räty's first game as a Vancouver Canuck. 7.5 minutes, no points, 1 hit.
Yeah, quiet. I mean, I don't think it was standout. But can I bring something up for you gentlemen? Because I did the research, and I want to use the research before I leave you. Do you know how rare it is for a 21-year-old goaltender to win multiple NHL games before they turn 22? Like, do you know how amazing what we're seeing from Arturs Silovs is?
Are you ignoring? Are you ignoring my Aatu Räty question?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't have. I'm doing the thumper from Bambi rule. Like, I don't have anything nice to say, but I have something nice to say about Arturs Silovs. So let me move there. Now, let me be clear too. I'm not taking a shot at Aatu Räty. He's a young player. He's 20. It was a quiet debut in which he didn't play a ton. Like, I don't know. I think reading too much into 7 minutes of ice time would be unfair to him. But I don't have anything like over the moon to say about him or revolutionary. What I do have to say though is Arturs Silovs won his second NHL game in 3 starts. Goalies this young rarely get put in an opportunity to do just that. It's even rarer that they succeed at it. It's only happened 31 times in the Cap era that a goalie this age has won multiple games before their 22nd birthday.
Wow.
Pretty incredible for a 6th round pick drafted in 2019. And like the names that aren't on this list, right? Like I think Thatcher Demko was still in college, right? Jacob Markstrom was an accelerated developer. He didn't win his first NHL game at the age of 21, right? Like what we're seeing is pretty amazing. To be at a level where you can stand in there against the Robert Thomases and Jordan Kyrous of the world and win a game, help your team win a game. Incredible stuff from Arturs Silovs.
Yeah, and I think everybody will agree that he's looked better and better, like from the Rangers game on out, that he's looked better and better. Thomas, a little bit of a hiccup in the middle. You handled it like a no problem. You handled it like a pro as always. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you so much. No, very good. No. You almost had Rick.
That's a face you want to slug. That's a face you want to slug.
That's very good. Very good. Okay, maybe you had me for a quarter of a second.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Cheers, boys. Have a good weekend.
Adios.
Thomas Drance.